Welcome back to the extended version of the emergency gear test. I'm meteorologist John Dawson, and this is the biggest thing I've ever reviewed for the emergency gear test. And I have to preface this to begin with. I didn't actually try this equipment out. This is a whole home battery backup power system, and it's designed to be attached to your house. This is not a portable system. This is attached to your house, a permanent fixture, and so I didn't actually test this out because I didn't attach it to my house and didn't have to like unattach it and all that kind of stuff. So this is a lot more of a show and tell, more of an unboxing than it is actually a full product review. But these types of systems have become very popular in the last couple of years. These battery backup whole home systems, different brand names that are out there. Some of them are designed again for your whole home. Others are designed perhaps for just a small portion of your home. But this one is one of those that can run your whole home, and I'm going to dive into as many details as I can. But let it be again just kind of an introduction to this specific product, because again I haven't really tested it, but also an introduction just to this idea of battery backup in general, and sort of something for you to consider. So let's start, because I got a lot of stuff all out here on the screen, and I will preface that this is a hybrid system. So the problem with batteries, no matter if you're talking about a battery for your flashlight or a battery for your whole home, at some point that battery is going to run out of juice. At some point you're going to run the battery down. So that's what the problem is with batteries. But this is a hybrid system where you can recharge the batteries from both solar power as well as possible portable generators, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as we move through there. But this is what you're looking at right now, the heart of the system. This here on top, this top section that we're looking at, is the power module, and basically it's what connects to the batteries, and then you connect this module to your house. So below here, I have two of their batteries that's a part of their system. So these are both 6 kilowatt hours in size. And again, you've got two of them connected right here. This is kind of what they would, I think, call sort of their base setup, that you could start with two batteries, but you could actually connect 5 of these batteries to one power module, and you could actually connect 3 of these power modules to your house. So in other words, you could put together, you could assemble a total of 15 of their 6 kilowatt batteries. So you could potentially have up to 90 kilowatt hours of battery power if you kind of tied it all together. But I don't really think you need that many batteries, because we've got this hybrid system that you can recharge and extend the battery life if you find yourself in a long-term power outage. And we're going to get to this tri-fuel generator here in just a minute, because you can use that, or you could use solar panels. So when I first heard about this idea in this particular system, I thought really this is ideal for people who have solar panels. If you've got solar panels, you got to get yourself one of these. But I've learned as I've got more into this, because of the hybrid flexibility of it, it will really work well for people who don't necessarily have solar panels. If you have a portable generator of some kind, you can use that instead of the solar power to kind of recharge these batteries in a very extended outage. But I think I've got ahead of myself a little bit. Let's get back to, again, the heart of it. This is the power module. It's got 2 batteries that are connected with it. But to connect this to your house, you have to go through a transfer switch. You have to go through one more box before it gets to your breaker box, because you're going to connect everything, of course, to your breaker box. So this, you have 2 options as far as your transfer switches are concerned. This first one here, so this is the plug right here from the power module, and you can connect from the power module right here. You've got this plug, and you can plug this into the smaller box. This is the smart inlet box. It is manually operated. It's not automated. So if the power gets knocked out, you got to go out to the box. You got to switch things over from the landline, from the the normal electrical system over to these battery that you have set up. Now, it is a cheaper option, But again, it's not the automated option. It's manually done if you need to switch over power. But the real brains behind this, and when I say brains, it's ingenious what this box can do. This is the power dock, and the power dock is really an incredible piece of equipment. It is the automated system to begin with, so it can automatically sense when the power goes out, and it can click you over to your battery power, and it can do that in less than 20 milliseconds. Let me get my terminology right, because that is the main key. It's one of the main selling points is how speedy it is. I don't want to use that wrong term here. It's 20 milliseconds. Yeah, 20 milliseconds I think is what we're trying to say, is how fast it is. And that is so fast, that 20 milliseconds, that you're really not even going to notice it. Your electrical equipment are really not going to notice it. It is almost instantaneous, and that is fantastic for a lot of that sensitive electrical equipment that might be in your house. So with the power dock, it's automated and it's super powerful. It can handle up to 200 amps of power, so it's very powerful, and it's very programmable through their app. So with their app, you can program, you can remotely control it. The power dock will tell you on your, your app on your phone exactly what's going on. It's even smart enough to where if it senses, and if you get alerts of severe weather coming to your area, it'll make sure that these batteries are pre-charged. It'll connect and make sure that they get fully charged from the electrical grid and get completely ready to go before, as it's sensing that there might be some severe weather. It's getting information coming into it as well. So it's got a lot of different information that it can do, as well as it can have circuits inside of here. You can set up, I think it's 12 or 14, I forgot the exact number, but you can set up circuits to become even more efficient in your house. So if you wanted to have those essential items only on certain circuits, you can power just those and not necessarily the whole home if you're trying to, again, be a little bit more efficient with how you're doing things. And it just has a lot of different features. Now, again, it's a little bit more expensive than the manual box, but there's just so much that this power dock can do. So like I said, this is kind of the heart and of the whole system. The power module and the batteries are kind of the heart. That's where the juice is, but this is the brains. This is what really kind of puts it all together. And as I mentioned, this is all assuming that you don't have that hybrid system going. But once you get into the hybrid mode, if you've got solar panels, then they're going to be controlled and sort of manipulated as well by this power dock. And they also have a tri-fuel generator. This looks really sleek, and I know it's a little bit hard to think that, even recognize that this is a generator, but let me just kind of turn this for you and you can kind of get a better view of it. This kind of looks a little bit more like what you'd expect a generator to look like here, with the fact you've got the on-off switch, but it starts automatically, and it can sense as well when the batteries are getting low. So you've got this plugged in, and I'll just go ahead and do a quick little install here. So basically, you would take your tri-fuel generator, and whether you're running it on gasoline or whether you've got it hooked up to the natural gas of your home, or perhaps you've got a propane bottle, you wouldn't necessarily even have that out all the time. You would just know that once you enter into an extended outage, then you would need to get this out and connect it. So this is going to be either in your garage or on the side of your house. You're going to have that stowed away. But if you're in an extended outage, then you're going to roll out your generator, whatever source of fuel you're going to use, you're going to hook it up into here. And as these batteries start to get too low, they'll automatically kick on that generator, and that generator starts to charge. But if you got the batteries all the way completely recharged, then that generator will turn itself off. Then you don't want to be just wasting fuel and having that thing run. It'll shut itself down, and then you will be running off of the battery. So again, it all talks to each other. It's all smart. It all kind of goes together really, really well. Now, I talked about the fact that these two batteries here are 6 kilowatts each, 6 kilowatt hours each. And an average size home in Houston area should be able to run on about 5 or 6 hours with these two batteries. Now, that's even running the air conditioner. I want to point that out, that this can handle up to a 5-ton AC unit. So even running that AC, you're not going to run it for the whole 5 hours, but you know how the AC kicks on and off. Even running that AC unit, these two batteries could probably handle your average home for about 5 to 6 hours. And like I said, I think the average power outage, if it's not like in a severe weather extended event, is normally 3 to 4 hours. So you could get your 5 or 6 hours on these batteries. If this is, you know, a hurricane that is hit your neighborhood and the power's going to be knocked out for a week, then you get your smart fuel generator out, a tri-fuel generator out, and then you're able to, you know, extend the range of these batteries. You're able to kind of keep your system going. Again, that's the hybrid of it. And if you have, again, I'll go back to the solar panels. If you've got the solar panels, then even better, because that way you're using the hybrid system. You're using the solar panels to recharge the batteries that are in here. So I think I mentioned this, but I just want to make sure I made it clear that you got 2 batteries on here, but each of these power modules can handle up to 5 batteries, and you could have a total of 3 of those 5 battery systems set up. So you could have a total of 90 kilowatt hours if you max the whole system out, and you could have it hooked up to that power dock. The power dock then hooks up to your house, and again, everything becomes automated. Now, you have to have a professional install the power dock or even the smart inlet. That has to be professionally done. But this side of things, when you look at the power module and the batteries, the simplicity of it is that you could pretty much do that on your own if you want to. So if you wanted to get yourself a system that's this size and you have the professional come out and install the power dock, and then you're like, you know what, I do think I want 1 more or maybe 2 more of these 6 kilowatt batteries. You can add those in later on your own. And again, maybe your budget is going to be something that's what it allows for. You can't get those max, can't get those 5 batteries right away. You can only start with 2. Well, then that's going to be easy for you to come back in and add later. A lot of these full battery backup systems for the homes are required to be professionally installed, and there's no sort of like compatibility, and there's no sort of like expanding that's in it. You just get the full big monster battery that has to professionally be put in, or you get nothing. This gives you a little bit more of that flexibility, expandability, and certainly that extendability when you can use this smart system all together. All right, so let's talk about money. Let's talk about prices a little bit. If you get kind of the basic setup where you get the module here as well as 2 batteries, the power module, the 2 batteries, and the smart power dock, you're going to be just under $8,000. It is $7,799, so $7,800 for the smart power, for the smart box here, the power dock, and this power module plus 2 batteries. So price-wise, I mean, you're looking at something that's pretty, I think, fairly reasonable, especially if you already have those solar panels. But even if you don't, and again, if you already have a portable generator, you don't have to use their generator, their brand. If you have a portable generator already, you can use that to extend the life of these batteries. You can use that to charge up the batteries. Now, it won't have the smart capabilities where, this other brand generator won't kick on and off automatically like this one would, but you could, again, use that if it's something that you already have. You're already kind of building on sort of a base layer of something that you've already got in your home, thinking about that emergency preparedness. All right. This is just an introduction. There was so much to talk about with a system like this that has so many moving parts and so much, but I hope you got an idea. I hope you go to my YouTube channel, you get a little bit more information about it, and then while you're there, you can expand a little bit more. This is the Anker SOLIX E10 battery, whole home battery backup system. We'll be back with more Fox Local coming up after this break.